Crap, mega crap.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of the Friday Night Frenzy, where Wonder Bad is canon and the topics, where they're more like a set of guidelines. How's everyone doing today?
Uh, so far so good.
All right. So, I'd like to introduce my wonderfully spooky crew. First off, we have the woman with 1,000 heads, I mean wigs. We have Bunny Girl next.
Hello.
You're like that one scene from Oz and the Great and Powerful with like the Hall of Heads.
Unfortunately, I don't have any mannequin heads for my wigs yet. Someday.
I like so. What you're saying is people won't know if you won the lottery, but there will be signs.
Maybe.
I love that meme. And next, we have the man for whom rooftop Korean is his favorite gender, and he will shoot you if you try and break into his bodega. How you doing, Chris?
Annyeong. How's it going?
Thank you, Chevia. It does look amazing. So we only got one really small topic before we bust that in. Let's see. We got Tevia here and the Hardcore Bunny. No one can blame me for walking away. Okay, Hardcore Bunny. I don't know the context, but okay. So yeah, let's just kind of go over this real quick. And all right, so Screecher is still active. We're starting to get some more funds again. We're one away from 50 backers. That's pretty freaking awesome.
Oh, yeah.
And 2K stretch goal is still in sight. If you want that extra print, get that before you go.
All right. Well, congrats
Sorry,
on funding.
Thank you.
Nice.
Hey, Drago. So yeah, just wanted to kind of bring that up real quick. Let me just grab the link, put it here in the chat. If you want to grab a sub copy, feel free. And yeah, so let's get into our main topic at hand, Halloween. We're going to basically just be talking about Halloween, our nostalgia for it. But first off, there's kind of a somewhat slightly related topic that Chris wanted to bring up. Something about a hill and how it's silent for the second time.
Yeah. Holy crap. I mean, I knew there was like all sorts of like, non-traversies about like how they made all the chicks ugly and big-headed hobbits and all that stuff and desexualized.
They put a chick in it, made her lemon gay.
Well, like they desexualized all the characters, and it shows that the creators have no idea what the characters were supposed to be because, as somebody put it in one of the reviews, James Sunderland, who is the main character, is a Coomer. And like the fact you desexual, like all of those monsters you fight are literally incarnations of his own sexual impulses and his own messed up psyche. And when you see them all desexualized, it takes out that element, like that he was kind of a horn dog.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up, because I'm not going to buy this thing, I ended up watching somebody play through the whole thing. And wow, did they like, it's kind of like, when Zuckerberg tries to emulate humanity, he doesn't quite get it right, Well, that's how this was, where it was like they took out like so the voice actors, like nobody's gonna say that the voice actors were perfect in Silent Hill 2 except for one, and that's Mary. Everybody else, I wouldn't have an issue with them being changed, but they destroyed Mary. They destroyed her. And there is a scene at the end of the first of the original game where you're walking down a hallway and you get this heart-wrenching monologue of somebody dying of cancer or some disease and lashing out at everybody they care about and then being left alone and then wallowing in their own like we're talking emo levels that are like off the chart, like they went to 11. and like you don't have a heart if you didn't cry at that.
Not to
And then
mention the reading of her letter at the end of the good
yeah,
ending.
the "You Make Me Happy." Oof.
Yeah.
But
And she's actually crying too, like the voice actress actually cries.
yeah.
And that
Well,
just ooh.
so
Ooh.
they redid it, and none of that gravitas, none of that crying or anything is in it, and it falls so flat. It is pain. It's like not only did they like up the combat so that the game is like more combat focused, which was never the point of Silent Hill 2. Like you're actually supposed to avoid combat because it's a survival horror game. You know, you have to conserve resources and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like
In this
you
one, like
can get into the combat, but it's supposed to be difficult.
yeah, in this one they gave James a bob and weave and a dodge, and they
You're
threw about
literally
a
fighting your demons.
yeah. He has 100 like some at the end of the game. It gives a tally of all of the like how many enemies you killed and stuff, and it's like 400 enemies slain.
Wow.
And I'm like, what game did you just play? Because Silent Hill 2 did not have 400 enemies thrown at you.
So, as a fan of Silent Hill 2, and I never got to play it, but I have experienced it through other people's playthroughs,
Mhm.
and like I went ahead and did a lot of deep diving and whatnot, to, like find interviews and all that good stuff. I've got to push back on the voice acting thing, Chris.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
I have
Grab the mic.
words.
no, they were all inexperienced except for that Mary writer.
Yeah, but they got those people for a reason. And as I've said multiple times in the past, it's because the voice acting was meant to feel off.
Oh, it
Every
was off.
it's supposed to feel like you're in a bad dream.
Yeah, this was like a bad line reading because it was like it you know like for example, Angela's initial encounter in the first one, yeah, that was weird.
Yeah,
And
it's supposed to be.
versus,
It's supposed to like set you up for like the weirdness of Silent Hill.
but
You're
it
literally in some kind of other world,
so
fighting your
the
inner demons made
well
flesh.
Angela wasn't his inner demon. She was another damn soul.
Yeah,
And when they
but
did the remake and they had like that completely different voice, you know, where they had David Duchovny read the lines, or at least no, I'm sorry, he was just the face model for the remake.
ah,
Wait, really? Really?
No, it was either that or Bob Hoskins. I can't tell. But,
Oh my god, rest in peace, Mario. Rest in peace.
But I didn't mind the switcheroo, or at least in that initial scene, because it's, you know, she has kind of like a smoky voice or whatever, and it's a younger actress or whatever, and I was like, okay, I can kind of live with that, you know, whatever. But Angela's showtime at the, you know, toward the end when she's got the knife and she, you know, she's in the mirror and, you know, the thing where it's we deserve this torture and all that stuff, that whole monologue friggin' bombed it. Like it was so bad. And then you know, the scene where it's like this for me all the time.
yeah. The original makes me
Yeah.
hurt inside in ways I can't describe.
It is, they botched it so bad in this. Like they were like, so
Ah,
they didn't have the fear, so there's no terror because you can literally see the jump scares ahead of you, and like
oh my
you're
god.
basically like James Sunderland in this is a tank. Like the dude can just basically Carlton Fisk his way through the whole thing, and it's like that's not survival horror. That's literally just like Resident Evil at this point.
So
Like,
You're doing Dead Rising with extra steps.
the
Yeah.
funny thing about James's design from the original, like the reason he has that army jacket, even though
yep,
that's because of Jacob from Jacob's Ladder.
yep. Yeah,
But
which
James himself is supposed to be an average guy. He has no military experience. He shouldn't be doing all these ducks and weaves. The man has never seen combat before. He's literally just supposed to be your average Joe.
well
Your
that
average James, if you will.
and somebody had pointed it out where like there's a scene where Maria, you remember when she like does a little thing at the nightclub where she like looks for the key and she like finds it in her bra. Like first she tries the one in her bra, no, and the one in her boot or whatever, and then she does, and then like as she's doing that, James looks over and takes a gander at her ass as she's bent over. They took all that out. He doesn't even look.
Of course they did. Of course they did.
Did they just? Are you saying they Mass Effect it?
Yeah, they made no. They so like James is not a good person, and that's what the game is trying. Like that's what the original game tells you through the course of the story. You think of him as a blank slate at the beginning. You're like, okay, I don't know who this guy is. He's in a restroom at some rest stop or whatever.
It's more complicated than he's not a good person. It's more like he was in a terrible situation, one nobody wants to be in, and he made a screwed up decision.
Well, the decisions though were informed by his own you basically the whole point of Silent Hill 2 is that it's just like the Jacob's Ladder thing. It's purgatory. It's literally purgatory. Yeah. And you are being judged. And that's what Pyramid Head is he's James' punishment.
Freudian slip.
Sort of.
Yeah.
So actually, I follow Masahiro Ito on Twitter, and he said that, interestingly enough, Pyramid Head was also in. Yeah.
Can you confirm?
No. I wish. That'd be funny. But he confirmed that Pyramid Head, who wasn't officially called Pyramid Head, he was kind of just like a nameless monster as far as I know. But the fans started calling him that. That's kind of just became his name. But he said that Pyramid Head was supposed to be like the chiropractor doctor guy from Jacob's Ladder. He's not, and it's informed by this one line. I forget the exact quote, but it's basically, if you're holding on to your life, then the angels who are coming to take you to heaven actually appear more as demons trying to take your soul away.
Yep.
And that's what Pyramid Head is. He's James looking for atonement. He's James' form of atonement. And as soon as James comes to terms with the horrible things he did, and
they kill themselves
for the screwed up but somewhat noble reason said he did them, even if he's not really convinced of it himself, they aren't needed anymore. He's let go. He's allowed himself to move on, and in the good ending, he can let himself be like a father to Laura, hopefully. They walk out of the cemetery away from Silent Hill together, so...
Oh yeah, that's the other thing is, Laura,
Fuck Laura, by the way. Yeah. I don't usually hate little kids in games, but Jesus Christ.
Well, that's the other thing is, the scene in the bowling alley? Okay, so if you remember the original intro for Silent Hill 2, there was a cut scene that didn't make it into the game that's in the intro. And it's when Eddie is leaning up against his white van, that van that you encounter at the beginning of the game, and you're like, "Whoa, who's the bandit vehicle is that?" Well, it's Eddie, the fat guy. Well, in the intro, you see her kick him and call him a dumb oaf or whatever, and then that scene got cut and remixed or whatever, and it's a scene in a bowling alley where he's eating a pizza inexplicably. It's like, how did he get a pizza delivered to him?
And she just calls him a fatso, and he's like, "Hey, why do you have to be so mean?"
Yeah, and
what do you have to be so mean? So sorry.
What's the matter, you? No, but so they redid that entire scene, and it's not in the bowling alley. It's actually in a movie theater now. And Eddie went from being somebody that was abused and ended up becoming a psycho over it. It's just, calling him a fat piece of shit.
Killed his dog.
Yeah, just
he killed his dog.
Well, so Eddie was kind of sympathetic in the original, where it's like, I don't like the monster he became, but I can see what contributed to him becoming the monster.
It was society who was to blame.
Yeah, it's the Joker.
We truly do live in a society.
So in the remake, no, he's just a fat piece of shit that's a psycho, and on top of that, he's about 400 pounds heavier. So they made
a white guy be sympathetic in this modern age.
Exactly, and it was so frustrating watching the scenes play out, and they made his eyes all white instead of blue. So it's I get because when Eddie goes crazy, you could just see the pupils because his eyes do get lighter, but it looks so his head looks like a giant pumpkin, and he's just like laughing at James and you know, and I'm like, okay, so Eddie's a piece of shit in this. Okay, fine. So you missed the point of Eddie. He's like in a movie theater, like he's using his hand to like reach into a cup of I think it was like a strawberry milkshake or something. So he's got like food trough splat all over the sides of his face and down his shirt and stuff. And it's like, that's not how Eddie was in the original. He was just eating a pizza. Like there wasn't pizza all over him. Like he wasn't a fat piece of shit the way that he was accused of. He was just an overweight guy that liked a pizza. But
it's actually kind of funny because I've seen like every single Let's Play YouTuber play it except for Markiplier, like the remake. And every one of them so, oh, it's amazing, oh, it's just glowing, oh, it's the best game I've played this year, blah 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 blah. And then this like lesser known YouTuber game reviewer is like, yeah, it's a pretty surface level remake, it's not very faithful to the original.
No. In fact, one of the
it's pretty obvious, you know, like they want the review copies.
No, well, yeah, it's all about access media. I saw that when I was in the industry. But like, honestly, though, there was one reviewer that I saw that summed it up perfectly, where he's talking about tourism, and he's like, "These people didn't give a shit about this game because they could have, you know, this game's more than 20 years old. You could have emulated this, like, and instead you get this $70 remake that's superficial at best. And if you play through this game, you will not understand Silent Hill 2."
But you'll think you do, and you'll say you do. Yep. You get this a lot with a lot of the remakes. It comes, people say, "Oh, I've always been a Silent Hill fan. I've been playing it since I was 2 years old." The game came out when they were like -5 years old.
But okay, so the YouTuber is Boulder Punch, and his title for it is a long-winded surface level reimagining Silent Hill 2 remake, and his the photo he's got, whatever you call it, help me out here, what's the word for it? My mind decided it wanted to play a blank on me.
Oh, I hate that one. I get that all the time.
The thumbnail. But he even says it on the thumbnail, bloated and shallow.
Yeah. Oh, and they do a mean-spirited thing where, like, you remember how Harley Quinn opens up her locker and that?
Yeah, I've seen the clip.
Yeah,
they do that thing. I think there's like another time. Like, obviously, Harley Quinn, Maria. The Dante one.
The Dante one was clever though, because it was foreshadowing what would happen later on in the game.
Yep. But let's be honest,
the game, and I hate that scene, but it was at least, and I will give it the benefit of the doubt here, play devil's advocate, because I am more than capable of breaking bread with my enemy. It was clever. It was clever in its own little way.
But let's not pretend it wasn't made as a shot across the bow to those kind of people. Even if it, you know,
the first
not in a million years.
It's the purple ending in Mass Effect 3. But I was just
know what's weird? You know what sucks is I'm actually playing through Mass Effect. I'm on Mass Effect 2 now. And I this is my first playthrough of Mass Effect, and I'm enjoying it. Mass Effect 2 is really fun. That's what I have to look forward to, as I have to like look forward to doing the endings and watching all of my choices. I'm out. 1, 2, 3,
or 4. Yeah, and it's so demoralizing. Like it made me retroactively despise the series. Like, I no longer have any desire to play any of the Mass Effect games after Casey Hudson outwardly lied to everybody and said there won't be an A, B, or C conclusion. But honestly, like, it went from an RPG to more of a shooter focus, which I can see how that would lose fans or whatever. You know, when the first game was straight up RPG, second game was more of a shooter, third game was full on shooter. And honestly, I can see the arguments for and against it and stuff, but for me personally, it didn't bother me. What bothered me was the outwardly lying, and then when they got called on their crap, they made a mean-spirited purple ending, which basically is like, everybody dies. And all of your choices all of the achievements that you made, like I got my war efforts to 100%. Like that bar was filled to the max. I'm like, holy crap! Like I'm gonna get the ending asterisk, and it never came. And I had my buddy play through the same game. Didn't do shit for the war effort. I think he got like 60% or whatever because he played a couple of online matches, and got the same ending. I was like, wow, so that was worthless. And yeah, the game just basically slaps you in the face. Like all of those characters, it was like a J.J. Abrams film where it's like, or it was like, the series where you get involved and invested in all these cool characters, and then that final season, it's just basically a big fu, and it ends like crap with no fulfillment.
Well, that's kind of the problem with like J.J. Abrams storytelling. J.J. Abrams asks questions that he doesn't know the answer to, and here's the problem with mystery boxes, and I tell this to all your writers. Don't ask questions that you don't already know the answer to.
Yes! Yeah, dude, like, I don't know how many times, like, I've seen amateur writers that are better writers than these Hollywood hacks. Like,
yeah, like I like mystery box storytelling. It is really fun to write, and it is very good at engaging the audience. But here's the problem: setup is great, set up to a mystery, but pay you frick off. Sorry.
Well, work backwards. Like you, as the storyteller, should know every angle. It's like getting into it's like getting arrested and you're being interrogated. Like, have your story straight, buddy. Like what do you mean? Oh, she did this. No, she did that.
It's fine to know A and C, but not know B. That is fine.
Yeah, you can work through that. Yeah.
Like you can know the beginning, know the end, and not know how to get there. A good writer can easily overcome that.
Yeah, I've always worked backwards. Like, I want you start with like what's your big meta story, and then it's okay. What do you want to tell at the end of it? Like what is the conclusion? Because to me, the conclusion is like the candy in the piñata. If you beat the shit out of that thing and nothing comes out of it, or crap comes out of it, you're gonna piss a lot of people off. So make some good candy for that finale, and then to me the starting point is actually hard. It's one of the hardest parts because it's like, okay, we know where they're gonna need to go, but let's give them a reason to come into the story.
Like just to give an example, so I'm doing Lost Kingdom right now. Like for Lost Kingdom 2, I know how it starts and I know how it ends. Yep. And I have a vague idea of how to get there. Okay, I know the ending. And in fact, I actually know the ending to Lost Kingdom 3. I know how Lost Kingdom 3 ends, and I know how it begins. So my trilogy, I already know how, like the vague story beats of things. So and I got to do this comment. For example, Robert Jordan didn't know for sure how to end the Wheel of Time. Well, the thing is, Robert Jordan had the ending written for Wheel of Time long before he died. In fact, the ending to Wheel of Time, I think Brandon Sanderson said he just plugged it in to that tail end of the book series. So, like, the ending of Wheel of Time is Robert Jordan's ending, and Brandon Sanderson essentially just like copy pasted, kind of thing. And that's great, like for a series like that, you got to know how it ends. Yeah. The problem is with a lot of these writers, like, say what you will about how long Wheel of Time is, at least it ends, At least it has an ending. You can say it's long, you can say it's a slog, all those are true, but at least it has an ending.
Yeah, even if he had several endings, it's still an ending, meaning that any of these will work,
Well, to be fair, each book does begin with there are neither beginnings nor endings in the Wheel of Time, but it is a beginning. Sorry, I'm a fan.
Well, you mentioned story beats, and in my opinion, and again, I'm not some great freaking writer or whatever. I don't have freaking awards or schmoozing with the Hollywood people, but I can tell you this: story beats work wonders. Like. It's your Pac-Man pellets, it's what leads you to that next scene. I love that stuff.
That's how I do it. That's how I break down a novel is I do story beats and then I do chapters. Then I do like a synopsis of like, okay, before I sit down to write a chapter, I write 1 or 2 pages of like, okay, what's happening in this chapter? And it's basically like a small little prose kind of very thing. It's kind of a thing that's just for me. And then they go off of that because there'll be times when you're writing a novel where it's like, oh, I don't know where to go from here. Then you just go back to your outline for that chapter and be like, okay, this is where I was wanting to go with the chapter. And then you're back on track.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand how hacks like J.J. Abrams, like it's got to be nepotism or something, because it's like I'm not going to fault the man for his buildup and his entry. Like I really enjoyed a lot of the series that he's made, but it's that unfulfilling conclusion every time. If you can't, cinch that landing, then your entire performance is worthless.
I think with JJ is he knows how to play the Hollywood politics game very well.
Yeah.
And then also he is the safe choice. He's the director you bring in when you want something to be at least competent. Because like the guy is not an idiot, okay? And as far as a filmmaker, he's a decent enough filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's be honest, he's not like the worst filmmaker ever.
No. Yeah, he's no Uwe Boll or anything, but
Oh, God.
Yeah. Or no, he's not like I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
like you watch his movies, they do have some sort of style. That style is lens flares, but it's still a style.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't make the sequel trilogy. He was just kind of originally brought in to do Force Awakens. Oh my God, Force Awakens is like the most J.J. Abrams film to ever J.J. Abrams. That film, like I never liked Force Awakens.
Neither did I.
Like when that movie came out, like oh my God, Force Awakens is so good. It is so by the numbers. It is a straight rip off of A New Hope. The only good thing to come out of that was that's not how the Force works, and also hey, anime night.
Hey.
Like they do a trench run. They even call out the fact that they brought in another Star Wars, another Death Star in it.
Yeah.
Like
but it's a bigger Death Star.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so stupid.
I do like the idea of Kylo Ren. They it's like the whole burden. Like it's just, but the whole trilogy is some decent ideas buried in a whole muck of bad execution.
Yeah, and it was like you were saying earlier, like they didn't know where they were heading with it, so he just kind of threw a bunch of shit together and said, "Good luck, whoever's making the next film." And none of the loose threads that he provided went anywhere. Like,
well, honestly, I The Last Jedi is not. Black Reaper Kai, good enough for you to join us, sir. He caught us just as weird. Like I love how as soon as I start bitching about Star Wars, everyone piles in. God, I need to start an anti-Star Wars channel. I really do.
Yes, let the hate flow through you.
So, going back to the initial topic,
Thank you, Nick.
Silent Hill.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Nick.
I was gonna shill Whispering Hills again because it is an actually really good, not just Silent Hill, like, I can't say parody. I was gonna say parody, but I was like, that's not the right word.
Homage. Yeah.
Homage. It's really freaking good. Chapter 2, the hospital, is my absolute favorite, and I've explained why, but for everyone who didn't catch it last time, there's this one part in the mod. It's a Fallout 4 mod, which is just massive, and it's getting bigger. It's not finished yet, but it's great horror just in general. There's this one part in the hospital where you go to a room to pick something up, and as you're looking through it, I think it's like a note, you hear this voice whisper in your ears, and if you're wearing headphones, it's even worse.
Ooh, nice.
Because you hear it say, "I know you can't see me, but I'm standing right behind you." And then you look, and there's a shadow there, and it's gone before you even have a chance to really react.
Nice.
And you're just like, okay, I'm out. The morgue in the hospital, too. Oh my God. I have never been so freaked out. because they've got Pyramid Head right there, and he's chasing you down. You're like,
I-
okay, so I'll just go back to the door I'm supposed to go into. And then no, it's
Nick,
not.
I
There's
love
another
it.
door somewhere.
I love as soon as I pull a picture of a Pyramid Head, you say that. We could not have timed that better if we wanted to.
But it really, oh my god, and it not only has its own special little world that you go into for the mod itself, it also bleeds out into the Commonwealth, and it just, oh my god, like there's a giant siren head right out by the vault, and if you go up to him, which you probably shouldn't, he will beat your ass into the ground.
Yeah,
If
is
you
that
do
him right
shoot
there?
him, he'll summon more monsters.
This
There it
this guy.
Yes. There's, of course, the Wendigo. Oh my god. The school. Oh, the school. I think the school, which is like the first chapter, is kind of my least favorite, if only because I'm a complete dumbass, but also because I've done it so many times while waiting for the second chapter. Because I'd stop playing for like a month or so, I'd come back
What
in.
in the FNAF?
Yeah, it's
Wait.
Robbie Rabbit.
And this is all a mod for Fallout 4?
Yes, but they so they get donations on Patreon and whatnot. They've even got the voice actress for Lisa Garland from the original Silent Hill in
Oh,
playing
nice.
of a very direct homage to her character.
All right, I'm
Nice.
playing the trailer, by the way.
Those nurses are getting down. Shake that thing. What it do, girl?
Oh God!
My only real complaints for the mod are one, if you back them on Patreon enough, they'll name a monster after you, and it kind of takes you out of the experience if you're someone like me who likes to be fully immersed. So you'll see like a monster named Glitter Sparkles or something coming at you, and it kind of
Noob
just
poner.
We've talked about this before, but I've threatened Nyx with becoming a Patreon and having a monster named after her.
Yeah.
The voice acting for both Nate and Nora, because they have people doing the lines for them, and they don't just like mix audio or whatever, use AI. Don't really sound very good.
Uh-oh.
Nora sounds way too young. She sounds like a 14-year-old girl, but finding your son Sean also plays into the mod heavily, and all I can think is, you don't sound like you'd be old enough to have a kid.
Not legally.
Oh God!
But and also, because it is a mod, there's a couple items here and there that you're gonna have to like delete objects to grab, like they fell through.
Oh.
Basically, like in the apartments, a couple of times I had to go and like delete a shelf or a table or something. A bathtub, actually, no, it was not
Hacker Nyx.
Yeah.
because the object fell underneath where it was supposed to, and I couldn't grab it any other way, and it made me feel really bad because I was like, "Oh, now I'm taking away from the experience." But like, it's
Nyx
a
hacked the
massive
game,
mod.
everybody. You hacked the game.
It is massive, and it's only expanding, but it is amazing. If you can, you absolutely need to download this mod and the companion sound mod. Also, some Silent Hill songs for the radio. There's Radio Silent, which is a bunch of Silent Hill music on your radio from your Pip-Boy. Really adds to the experience.
Nice.
I'm not going to spoil the end, like the last chapter that I made it to before. I don't know if they have any more chapters out just yet. But what I will say is they make the main town in this new other world go completely off the rails at the end. We're talking like blood rain and fleshy streets and like very
Fleshy
industrial like spiked chain fences and stuff like that. It looked amazing. Like the mod, it was made with a lot of love and care, and I absolutely recommend it to anyone who's a fan of horror.
Well, Nyx, if you want to drop the link into the YouTube chat, you can. But I think we've Silent Hilled ourselves enough for one stream. I was not meaning for this to go on as long as it have, but you guys were just having such fun talking.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
I haven't
the
been
only-
able to play, unfortunately, because of the.
Okay. Okay, this is at least like public domain, so I can get away with playing this. Alright.
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
Stop it! You're ignorant.
They're coming for you, Barbara.
I love this guy.
Stop it! You're acting like a child.
They're coming for you. Look, there comes one of them now.
He'll hear you.
Here he comes now. I'm getting out of here.
Johnny.
Oh my god, this movie is a classic for a reason.
Sadly, I
Yeah.
haven't been able to play the mod in a while, ever since that update they did.
Oh.
Thanks, Todd.
So apparently, the reason why this movie is public domain is they just forgot to add a copyright to the movie.
Really?
Whoops.
That is like the most George Romero thing ever.
Wow. So they just gave a movie away for free.
Essentially, yeah. So this movie is public domain.
Wow.
So that's why I was perfectly capable, and I love that clip. That dude is such a troll.
Yeah, well, he gets what he did.
I'm just
Man.
making myself sad. The last
Well,
time
yeah.
they updated was in 2023, like literally just a year ago, the 28th of October.
Ooh.
Yeah.
But
that's-
like, it is a very big mod, so obviously it's going to take some time to get.
Well, that and it's an amateur product. Like they are getting, Patreon support, but like since it's not a clock in 9 to 5er, like sometimes other things get in the way.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just gonna go around and say, like, what does Halloween mean to you guys? Chris first.
Well, I'm born around Halloween actually, so for me it's a reminder of my own mortality. Like I can black pill you, but like here in New England, like whenever Halloween gets near, I live near the Salem witch trial stuff. So like,
Ooh.
You
all-
love
You live in the
bastard.
Commonwealth. You literally live in the Commonwealth.
well, we get all the the leaf peepers. I remember Sully from Godsmack. Halloween's like my religion's Christmas. Because he's Wiccan.
Okay.
So Samhain is like kind of like their big to do, and yeah, I mean it's cool and all, but like I don't know, I know a lot of like people just push it aside like for Christmas, which dude, I'll tell you, man, nothing gets under my nerves more than going into a chain store like Walmart or something, and like it's like October 6th. And you're like, oh, Halloween candy, oh, I see they marked it up. Great. Oh, look, it's an entire aisle dedicated to Christmas.
Oh, did you see that photo that I posted on Twitter about a week or so ago, where I went into my local CVS and they had the Halloween and Christmas decorations?
Yeah. What the hell, dude? Like, Christmas can wait. I'm sorry, but like
It's bad enough when it overtook Thanksgiving. Because I'm just going to say this right now, Christmas doesn't start till after Thanksgiving.
yeah, I agree.
Well, not if you're Canadian.
yeah. When
And it
Canadian
starts.
Thanksgiving.
It starts after. Okay, let me clarify for our Maple Leaf friends. It starts after American Thanksgiving.
Yeah, isn't Canadian Thanksgiving in like September or October?
No, it's in October, but it comes before Halloween.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I understand why they do it because it's capitalism and they want to get people buying shit quicker and all that stuff. But like Halloween kind of needs its breathing room, and we used to have it when I was a kid. Like, dude,
Oh, yeah.
we like all the media fear mongering and all the shit, like all the electronics and social. Like, we lost like what I had. Like, I feel bad for kids these days because
I
like
mean,
what I had in the 80s, like, woo.
I mean, the '90s was good for Halloween too. And here in Michigan, we had Devil's Night. Like, you know that thing in The Crow from Devil's Night? That was actually a thing in Detroit and Metro Detroit. It kind of petered out in the 2000s. Like they tried to rename it Angels. Oh, they didn't try. They actually succeeded. They renamed it Angels Night, and it kind of died out in like the 2000s. But that was actually a thing. That was actually
burn stuff or what?
Like burn stuff, loot, destroy. That's Detroit every day. Fuck you. Sorry, I was heading off the cliche jokes.
No, I remember I had a friend come over after school, rode the bus with me home, and he got in his little Karate Gi costume or whatever. And I lived near a bunch of back streets, so I lived on a main highway, and then there were a bunch of these like neighborhoods that were kind of like almost like a tree branch off of it, and we would just basically hit all of those, and the only rule was, oh, it's starting to get dark. Okay, we're just riding our bikes or whatever, and it was just friends. Like we met up with these other kids and all this other stuff. Now it's like parents are literally just like strapping their kid in the car and going like, okay, we're gonna drive here, and like the parents are part of the experience and everything. And it's like, I know why they're doing it now because all the fear mongering. It's like all the kiddie fiddlers and the dots on the map and all the imported filth from the third world and all that stuff is causing problems. But
it's either, like that, or like they'll walk with the kids, but they'll let them walk up to the door or something.
Yeah, but like I loved the autonomy of being because we had a designated bag holder, so like we had one kid who had a radio flyer that would have like a giant trash bag just filled with our candy, and what we would do is we'd bring our smaller bags to the we'd all ride around as a group with our bikes, and we would go to the houses, get the stuff, and then go back to the kid with the bag and then put it all in the bag, and then at the end of the night we'd divvy it all out. And it was autonomy.
It was like a loot. Yeah, it was loot. My thing was you grabbed a pillowcase, and that was your Halloween loot bag.
Yeah, that's what we had. Yeah, I had a pillowcase. And yeah, I just slung it over my shoulder like a hobo, and it works. And like at the end of the night though, like no kid was unhappy because we divvy out the candy and be like, some kids really loved candy corn. Some kids hated it. Some kids loved black licorice. Some kids absolutely despised it. And you could divvy it out. It was like the need or greed thing in Warcraft when you were doing like a raid.
Yeah, or like you'd make trades.
Yeah.
Because that was me and my sisters, because I had two older sisters, and we did something similar where we'd go out, and then at the end of the night we'd empty out our bags and we'd kind of make some trades or do some stuff. Like, oh, I wanted this, I want this, kind of do some trades. It was fun.
Yeah. And you had special houses. It was like, dude, that house over there, no kid eggs that house because those guys give full-size Charleston.
Oh my God, yes! Like there was always that one house. They're giving out king-size Butterfingers.
Yeah, yeah. Oh boy, yeah, yeah. Those were the protected houses.
Yeah, they're giving out king-size Hershey bars, like actual whole bars, one for each of us.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was like part of like being a kid is like learning the social like things and like, because like you didn't have your parents hovering around you, and you worked as a team, and everybody at the end of the night felt like the kid that was like one year I was the designated radio flyer kid with the big
and
trash
then,
bag.
And then you're talking about like the weird people. Here's the thing: back when I was growing up, we knew others was like, okay, Nick, don't go to that one person's house. He's creepy. Like, do not go to his house for the candy.
Yep.
Yeah,
and or the guys that would turn their lights off. It was like, commence the egging.
or TPing them.
Yeah. The trees, because like when the leaves are all off and you got those skeletal branches. Yeah,
it's really bad. Or like let's say you have like the football team. And they get mad, so like you got like that one quarterback who got an arm, and like
yes, it's like how did you cover 3 houses with that?
It's like that tree is That tree is 30 feet high. How'd you get it over there?
Yeah, like
Nick,
or-
all right. Wait. Nix, you've been pretty silent. What's your Halloween memories?
Well, I grew up outside of a pretty small town, so my route was always the same every year until my grandmother died.
Oh.
Yeah, but my grandmother, when she was alive, was like, you'd swear to God, Halloween's biggest supporter. She loved it. We'd have Halloween parties before Halloween. We'd go and visit her friends who were throwing Halloween parties. We just do everything Halloween. We decorated.
Yeah, because the thing is, I feel like Halloween is starting to get more love than Christmas these days. Because I feel like as adults, we're all kind of burnt out on Christmas. Because for one, it gets shoved down our throats. But for the other thing, Christmas is strictly a family holiday. It is a togetherness, all that crap. And a lot of people don't have families to go to on Christmas. So Christmas Day comes, but Halloween is kind of this universal holiday. It can be celebrated by kids, it can be celebrated by adults. It's like Dr. Seuss. I can celebrate it here, I can celebrate it there, I can celebrate it anywhere. Like,
But,
even if you're just alone, it's like, I'm going to celebrate Halloween how I want. I'm going to watch movies or whatever.
But because we lived right up the road from some distant family of mine, less distant to my grandmother, but we'd always go there first, and they were always on the older side, even when I was a kid. We'd always get cans of pop in our bags.
Oh,
wow.
And the only thing I had to endure to get those cans of pops and candy bars was that my grandmother, being the social butterfly that she was, would sit and talk for God knows only how long.
Oh, that reminds me.
They're bored out of my gourd.
That reminds me of my younger years, where on Halloween, after we went trick or treating, we'd all go to my grandma's house. Like, not just my family, but like a lot of the other people, like my cousins, and we'd all kind of gather around so my grandma could see all our costumes. And that was like when I was really young. That didn't last too long, but that's something that I remember.
But we always would go to a veterinarian's place. And she was the one. Oh my God, she'd give out the biggest bags of candy every year, and she'd always have dogs running around her house. So
yeah, I don't
extra
know.
great.
It kind of differs by neighborhood, but trick or treating really isn't as much of a thing as it was even like 5-10 years ago. Because I remember the 2010s. I used to hang out with the person I was living with. He'd go out trick or treating, and I could see each year it'd be less and less people.
Yeah.
I got told off one year when I was like 16 for going out as a teenager and trick-or-treating. Like, oh, it's for younger kids. And, if I saw you at my door, I'd just turn you away. And I was like, oh, thanks for being a fucking grump.
Or the classic boomer line, sorry, I'm not giving out cigarettes.
Like, bitch, I don't even smoke. Just put the fucking candy in the bag and walk away.
Yeah. See that car? It's got a whole bunch of eggs in it.
But no, I didn't do that kind of stuff because I didn't have any friends to go out trick-or-treating with aside from like one or two, and they'd come with me and my grandmother. My grandmother loved to go trick-or-treating with the rest of our family, like my aunt and her kids, me and my brothers. I didn't actually grow up with my brothers. We all grew up in separate homes. But when we did go out, my grandmother would either come up to the door and she'd lie bold-faced to the people if we didn't know them and say, oh, there's kids in the car. They were too sick to come and get their candy. And then she'd eat the candy.
Oh, God. I mean,
but as she got older and it got harder for her to walk around, like she was only like nearing 60 when she died, or just had turned 60, but she'd always had back problems my whole life.
So get around all the candy.
When it came time for her to stop going door to door because it was getting too hard for her, she'd sit in the car and we'd lie. We'd be like, oh yeah, there's kids in the car, and we'd get her candy for her too.
Wow.
But like my favorite memories of Halloween have always been tied to my grandmother, and so every time it gets to be around this time of year, and because of my own physical disabilities, I can't do a whole lot of decorating, and the rest of my family are either too busy or too up their own asses to help me decorate.
No.
It makes me kind of really sad because I genuinely love this holiday and I'd love to be able to do more to celebrate it, but
Mhm.
I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like this whole holiday that I used to love so dearly and I get to see my nieces fall in love with. It's kind of losing its magic for me now.
See, that's kind of where like a generational thing where the chain has been broken, because it's always been like you enjoy the holiday as a kid, whether it be Halloween or Christmas or anything really, and then as you got older, you had kids. Your kids got to enjoy the
Yep.
holiday, and you got to be the older person, like,
Yeah.
and you got to enjoy the holiday from the other side, and that was its own set of fun. Like parents be like, oh, put cookies out for Santa, then you nibble on the cookies, like, oh look, Santa ate the cookies. Or like
Yeah.
Halloween, it's you get to be the dad handing out sugar treats, and you get to be all dad puns or whatever. Like you get to embarrass your kids, like let's say you have a daughter and her boyfriend comes trick or treating, and you be all dad and you embarrass her and you watch her blush, like, dad, no. It's like, look, those kind of things.
You brought up a really good point, like that broken chain. Like, we really are the generations of childless. Like, we're not passing on our legacies, and it's like that's what the holiday. Like, you nailed it. Like, the holidays are cyclical in the sense that they're for children, and then they're for the adults or the parents of children. You know what I mean? And you get that nice on the way up, and then kind of as you get older. And now that we're like at that age where most of us should be grandparents or parents, and we don't have that anymore, it's like the holidays really do kind of lose their bite.
And I think that's why Halloween is still popular. Is because you can celebrate Halloween as an adult. You can go to parties. You can do
I
stuff.
can't.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, but for a lot of people, Halloween is still. Whereas Christmas, it has to be with family.
Yeah,
And
and a
so-
religious thing. Like I'm Jewish, so it's like kind of hard
Yeah.
to get into the Christmas spirit.
Oh, I'm sorry you don't get to experience the greatest holiday on earth, so I'm just kidding.
No. Here's the thing. Okay, here's a little spilled tea. My dad is not Jewish, but he's a
Scandalous.
no. He's
Heresy.
he's a narcissist, and
That's
my
his
dad-
religion, is himself.
yeah. My goyim father made my Jewish mother put on Christmas for us. If we didn't have, like, if it weren't for my Jewish mother putting on Christmas, the tree, the stockings, the gifts, we would have never experienced that. She was doing him a favor all that time by doing us a favor. And yeah, so I they're like, oh yeah, but the Jewish holidays are lame. No, actually, they're pretty cool. A lot of them are basically big FUs to see we're still alive.
Isn't there like a Jewish Halloween or something?
I don't
Like
think
where you
so.
like a holiday where you dress up as in costumes or something?
I haven't
that-
experienced any like.
Because I was watching this interview with Mayim Balak, Amy and Blossom.
Yeah, she's
And
like
she's
the super
Jewish.
Jew.
Super Jew.
Yeah, dude,
Uh,
she's like all like I'm surprised she hasn't gone into some type of Jewish clergy.
We know she's more Jew-ish.
Yeah, ish.
Hey, Geek Diary.
Hey.
She's a Hollywood Jew. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, well, I've seen, like, I've heard.
I don't
her
want to go
read-
too far into it. But just,
Yeah. But you were saying that she said that there was a Jewish holiday where kids dressed up in costumes and stuff.
And adults did as well. Like, you were talking about how her parents did something. I was just curious.
No, honestly, I don't remember any celebrating any of those holidays. Like, yeah, I mean, we had Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, Purim. Yeah, a lot of them are like. Here's a good rule of thumb: most Jewish holidays are celebrating surviving people trying to kill us.
We're still alive, bitches.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and like honestly, like when I was out in California and I wasn't near any of my family, I owe a lot of gratitude for my Jewish coworkers and friends that let me, you sit and if you're like you having like a Passover Seder with them and it's like, wow, like
that's
my family.
That's honestly kind of a bit of a common thread with like a lot of my experience, either people talking about their experiences with Jewish people or whatever it is. They're very generous with their religion and their faith.
Yeah, it's.
I think the best thing I can say about Jewish people is that they're not constantly trying to convert.
Yeah. Oh, they'll try to talk you out of it, dude. Like, why do you want to become a Jew?
Like, they'll talk about their religion. They're happy to share their history. Which I'm fine. If a Jewish person wants to talk about their history, like, fine, I'll listen. I'll probably enjoy it. But I like this. It's never like, oh, let me do a sales pitch.
Yeah, it's weird because, like, so I've never had any problems with anybody of any religion except for one, but that's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay, but, that's as much as we're going with that one.
But like, for example, you remember the Satanic Panic back in the 80s?
I remember the Satanic Panic of the 90s, but yeah.
Yeah. So I had my Dungeons and Dragons game that I did at the library, and yeah, we went to Jubilee and saw the giant Tron end boss. But no, I was doing the my Dungeons and Dragons games, and there was all this like we were at the Pelham Public Library, and it fell on like it was like actually it was the 90s. So yeah, I stand corrected. We didn't have the money because we were during a recession, so the library would close when we were trying to do these games. And we're like, oh man, we're gonna miss out this month because we only did it once a month, And it was like, oh, they're not, the librarians aren't gonna come in and get, do work for free. So
yeah,
we're not gonna have games. So this guy, Father Ed, who was the head of the Catholic Church, he had the rectory, he had all this bingo hall, all this stuff. A Catholic reached out to us and said, dude, you could just use our bingo hall. Nobody's in there. Just don't make a mess, clean up after yourselves, and it's totally at your disposal. I was like, well, I'm like, we're playing Dungeons and Dragons in there. And he's like, oh, yeah. I'm like, you're not worried, like, because I'm Jewish, I'm not Catholic. He's like, I don't care. Like, yeah,
okay, that's a really cool priest to allow a bunch of Jewish kids to play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
It is, like, that is doubly cool. I just gotta say it.
Well, we invite him. We're like, if you have any concerns about it, you might, you can sit in if you want. He's like, yeah, sure, whatever. So he sat in, bought a couple of kids Cokes or whatever, drank some Coke, and then he's like, I've seen enough. You kids have fun. And he just left, went back to the rectory. And it was like,
it's like, that's not for me, but these kids aren't burning down. They're burning things down.
Yeah, he's probably like, oh my God, these versions are never going to get laid.
See, that is the true danger of Dungeons and Dragons. It's not, you won't be converted to Satan, but you won't be converted to the Church of Women either.
But it was...
I'm sorry, Nix. I'm sorry.
It was so nice, though, that, like, this cross, interfaith, whatever. But, like, yeah, I don't know. I miss having communities. I miss my culture. I miss being the Stranger Things kids, Like, we don't have that anymore. Everybody's buried in their mobile devices, and everybody's isolated. Nobody's got kids. Well, I know a few people that have kids, but a lot of my friends disturbingly do not have kids, myself included.
Well, it's we got our fur babies.
Oh yeah, yeah. But it's like I love that magic of being a kid, and like I've seen everything now. Like nothing new surprises me. So I love experiencing something new for the first time through the kids, when it's like, this is the first time they're seeing it. That's awesome. I mean, I know it sounds creepy. It sounds like a Michael Jackson thing, but like seriously, that's why, like, as adults, that's how we get to enjoy seeing things new again.
Yeah, seeing the magic of their eyes and like knowing that you're the one who. Sorry, Nick, go ahead.
Oh no, go finish what you're saying.
Like seeing the magic in their eyes as they see things, you know, and especially knowing you're the one giving them that joy.
Yeah.
Speaking of magic, though, and this is kind of a rant about my niece's maternal family. They're very Christian, and I just have to say this. Told my oldest niece, who is only 6, that there is no such thing as magic.
What?
Yeah. Like, okay, I get that you really want her to believe in God and shit, but when my niece, my 6-year-old niece, comes to me, and we have this whole thing, like I get edible glitter from the store, and when she was younger, I told her a little fib.
But magic does exist, don't you see?
Very funny. But I told her that it was fairy magic to make her chocolate milk taste better, because I thought it was just kind of funny. And then she took me seriously, and I had to give her this whole explanation about how I fought off an evil fairy. And this was my reward. We talk about Santa Claus, and then she comes to me and says, yeah, magic's not real. My grandmother said so. And I was like, I get it, okay? I get you are really fucking stupidly Christian, and you want her to follow in your footsteps. But don't tell the fucking kid who wants more than anything to believe there is such a thing as magic in the world, and she's only fucking 6, come on. That magic doesn't exist. How the fuck are you gonna explain Santa Claus, you Scrooge?
I mean, honestly, I feel like if it was 8 years old, I would be more on the side of your grandmother, but at 6, I mean, come on.
She barely just got into grade 1.
Yeah, 6 years old, that's still prime age for believing in that kind of stuff.
Well, how do they reconcile, their religion? Because like miracles are magic.
Yeah,
no. You don't realize they're not magic; they're miracles. They're two separate things.
They're acts of God, don't you know?
Yeah, but maybe the magic.
I love how your Canadian came out when you said that.
Yeah. Oh God. But but aren't then maybe the magic is just acts of God being passed through these people, like
Nick,
Moses.
Parrot Head has a question for you.
Yes, I've been to San Francisco.
I was wondering who would catch on to that, because knowing Parrot Head, I'm pretty sure that's what he was trying to get at.
Okay, I like Chris's answer better.
Jesus Christ!
I've played an Ubisoft game in the past 3 years. I know what fairies are.
I know what you are.
God.
But it really ticks me off because she's got all these ideas in this little kid's head, and little kids' brains are like sponges. So instead of telling her like the actual reason for like rainstorms or thunderstorms and all that kind of stuff, it's 'cause it's God. It's God. God did it. God made it rain.
Okay.
And it's like, no.
Oh, that reminds me, I got a joke for you guys. Do you want to know why there's no vampires in Africa?
What is that?
It's because God made it rain down in Africa.
Oh, no.
The rain's blessed.
Yeah.
You know, because Toto bless the rains down in Africa. God, I love that joke.
I don't have any problem with religion, but when you like start to put all these ideas in a kid's head, like these are the kinds of people that be like, oh, we don't sell. These are the kind of people that the girl's mom, my niece's mom, came to me and said, yeah, I wasn't allowed to celebrate Halloween as a child, so I'm really into it now as an adult, and I really want my kids to be able to experience it.
Oh God! Okay. That's a subtopic we need to get at. Christianity Okay, let me just tell you a story. I was going to this church one time. My landlord was a pastor, great guy. Some of the people were cuckoo though. I was talking to this one woman. I said, "Oh, what are you guys doing for Halloween?" They're like, "We don't celebrate Halloween. We
That's the
celebrate
devil's holiday.
no. It gets better. We celebrate Oktoberfest."
Yeah, boy.
No.
Not that
Okay.
kind, unfortunately.
Okay, so what do you guys do at your Oktoberfest celebrations? Like, oh, we have hay rides, we have bobbing for apples, we have corn maze, and in my head I was thinking, so you celebrate everything but in Halloween, you just don't call it Halloween.
Yeah. Well,
That's literally my bus driver from high school. Her and her husband were like uber Christian conservative types.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet people, but Jesus Christ, they were cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
dude,
Yeah.
so we had these kids in school that were. I was actually friends with one of them, and it was really sad. He was a Jehovah's Witness.
Oh,
And, dude, those people are. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to shit on people, but like, dude, when you do what Jehovah's Witnesses do to their kids, they become socially maladjusted. Like,
Okay, Chris, I have a question for you. Who is worse, Jehovah's Witnesses or Seventh-day Adventists?
The Seventh-day Adventists are the ones that go to church on Saturday, right?
See, that's the thing that people don't realize is Seventh-day Adventists, like that is like the Jehovah's Witnesses that people never talk about. Yeah, I think they did call it Harvest Fest, Peter Venkman.
Well, my the startup company that I went to, the first that offset one, the two of the brothers there were Seventh-day Adventists. But I don't know, like, I don't know anything about the religion. In all honesty, I can't, say positive or negative about it. But like the Jehovah's Witness kids, though, it sucked because like I wanted to be friends with them so much because they were cool kids, they were nice, but like everything, like their parents like lorded every regiment out of them. Like they couldn't celebrate birthdays. I invited them over my birthday. Nope, couldn't do that. We had school vacation. Hey, you wanna hang out? Because the kid was like right up the street from me. Couldn't hang out. Like if you were not part of the cult, you were out. So like this,
And that's the thing. Like Seventh-day Adventist is a religion that's a bit restrictive and can have some problems. But Jehovah's Witnesses is a full-on cult because sorry,
No, go ahead.
because like they practice like the art of shunning and like they have their own
Yeah.
community kind of thing. Nix, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I have actually two stories. So one, when Jehovah's Witness would come to my great grandfather's door, he'd invite them in for a smoke and a drink.
two things against.
Yeah, just so they piss off and go away. That was a story told to me by a couple of different of my family members. He died when I was.
Or you answer the door. You got a thing of whiskey in your hand. You got a cigar, and you blow the smoke in their
Yeah, what's
face.
up?
But someone pointed out to me that that's actually how you bring them even further into their cult's clutches, which is absolutely something I don't want to do. So, if Jehovah's Witness ever came to my door, I'd just be polite and offer them water, and I'd listen politely. Show them that everything they were taught about the outside world and about non-believers is completely wrong, and that would, hopefully get them questioning more of their religion.
I wouldn't be
So
as
sad.
generous as you, but I'd be more like, hey, I'm sorry. I know you got a thing to do, but I'm really not interested. You have a good day. I do the we politely but firmly tell them to leave.
You know what is like a crucifix to a vampire with Jehovah's Witnesses?
What?
Just show them your Star David. They're like, "Wah!"
But the second is
Jew!
actually really sad. My mom actually knew a girl whose mother was very, very firm Jehovah's Witness, and the girl needed a blood transplant or transfusion or something like that, and her mother refused to allow it for her, and she ended up dying.
Oh my god,
Yeah,
dude!
because it goes against their religion. Because she might as well have been drinking that blood or something. Apparently, according to their fucking cult rules.
Dude.
So
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't want-
she needed something that was vital to her health, and her mother legit said,
Denied.
"Fuck you, die. I'd rather
Yeah.
my child just die."
All right,
That's
this is a
heartbreaking.
fine tangent. I just don't want this to be too much
Yeah.
into religion territory. I gotta reel it in, guys. Reel it in.
all right.
Like,
All right.
it was fine.
all right.
This was a fine tangent. I'm not saying you guys were wrong for doing this. Just reel it in, people, please.
I just can't imagine doing something like that to your own child.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I agree.
here's my thing. I'm obviously I'm religious. I'm not super religious, but I'm religious. I believe. But like, I love like I don't like the moral ambiguity of not believing in a higher power and thinking that only oblivion's there waiting for you, good or bad, you go to the same place, because then that kind of renders a lot of hope basically inert. So I like the idea of there being moral like objectivity. Like I don't like subjective morality. I don't like, oh well, you know, this or that. It's like, no, to me, if you kill somebody, you are a bad person. I don't care what religion you believe in. If you kill somebody that hasn't done anything to you, you're a bad person. Or like
I was
what?
gonna put that little addendum, unless they screwed you over first.
Well, yeah, I mean that, you know, I honestly like Hammurabi's law, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Like, I don't have a problem with that because I think justice is like altruism. I think those are artificial words created to make people feel better. I don't think those things
Like,
really
that's-
exist.
What, like, why do you think the concept of karma has become
Yeah.
so widespread? Like, it's technically a Indian religion, like a Hindu concept, but it perfectly describes what a lot of people seek in life. And I do have to do a pause. Parrot Head has gifted me with a meme that I must share.
Oh no! Oh no!
Yes. Okay, this one is yes. Parrot Head has blessed us. Nix, would you be so kind as to read the meme?
Samhain, a Gaelic word meaning summer's end. It is pronounced Samhain in Ireland, Samhain in Wales, Savin, Scotland, and pumpkin spice in America. Fun fact about your favorite bunny girl, I am actually partially Irish and Scottish.
Oh, nice!
On both sides,
Double Gaelic.
both on my grandfather's side, his family comes from Scotland, and my grandmother's side, who comes from Ireland, she actually used to talk on and on about wanting to go visit Ireland and never got the chance.
They're taking the Nix to Isengard. God.
I've also got Algonquin in me,
Oh, nice.
which is Canadian version of Native. So
Yeah. Though that they
Are
were
you
in New
two?
England here.
Nix, are you two spirit?
Oh God.
that's a stupid derogatory thing that was created in the 90s.
Yeah. No,
Sorry.
yeah.
I had
Do
to
not
bring that
insult
up.
my culture.
Wait. So Algonquin? That means you're like East Coast, right?
I would think. I've been told before it's Algonquin Métis. I don't know if that's.
Yeah. Honestly,
I don't
there's
know
this
much
thing.
about it. My grandmother was way more knowledgeable about it. Like she'd actually go to like powwows and sit-ins
Yeah.
and stuff.
Like here's the thing is like I mean they pulled that whole Indigenous Peoples shit day recently with the whole Columbus thing. Dude, history's losers, you're lost. But my thing is I think that all the 500 nations of, you know, native indigenous people of what's now America, that shit should be taught. Like go
it
to
should.
a powwow as a field trip. Like
We used to do
Well-
stuff like that in my school district. We learned a lot of Native history. Well, yeah, First Nations, as it's called in
Yeah.
Canada.
yeah.
We also, a lot of the kids wouldn't have even like had any native blood in them. Like lots of kids from different parts of the world came to our school. We'd go and we'd like talk to people. Like I brought it up before once or twice, but we go to like a high school or college that these representatives were visiting, and they tell us all about their culture, their songs, their games, all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. And it was done in this very like, yeah, a lot of you probably aren't from our culture and have no bearing on our
Yeah,
past,
but
or
don't let it die. Yeah,
like don't let it die. We want to share it with you, outsiders, because that's how cultures live on.
Yeah, I
So
think I
in
think
New,
I think that's why if you like in Ireland they have such a big thing about teaching Gaelic
yeah,
to young kids because it's keeping the culture alive.
there's only like
Yep,
50,000 people that speak Gaelic, but in New
Oh,
Hampshire here,
I'm
they
learning Gaelic.
yeah, here in New Hampshire, they actually one of the high school teams is called the Sachems, and they have that. They have a war cry or war dance performed by a real Native American at the games.
I need to say Parrot Head has blessed us again.
Oh no!
Blessed in massive quotation.
All right, Nix, you're up.
Aha! Jehovah's Witnesses don't celebrate Halloween. I guess they don't appreciate random people coming up to their doors.
It's like the Kool-Aid Man. Wow, that really is annoying.
Oh yeah, Parrot Head, you slimy bastard.
Yeah, that was a great one.
It's kind of funny because a lot of who I am, I ended up getting from my grandmother. She was. I'm the complete opposite this way, but she was one of the nicest women you'd ever meet. I remember, and my aunt still tells me this story to this day. One year when they were out Christmas shopping together, they went to a Chapters in Ottawa, and both two people in that area recognized the symbol my grandmother was wearing on her necklace, which is a pentacle. Wiccan, came up, said "Blessed be," talked to her for like an hour or so, got my aunt impatient. Then they went to another store, and a Satanist came up to her and talked to her for like an hour or so. And
Also,
that's just
Harco
the kind of
Bunny.
person.
I'm sorry. Sorry. You say your thing, Nix. I'll go ahead.
That's just the kind of person my grandmother was. It didn't matter who they were, what kind of walk of life they came from, or what they believed in. As long as they weren't cruel to her or the people she cared about, she was basically a saint. And
Yeah.
random strangers could come up to her on the street and she'd just chat with them like they were an old friend and she'd known them her whole life.
That's cool.
But yeah,
Also,
Gotham did kind of ruin Wiccan beliefs.
Yeah, they did.
wait.
Also, the
sorry.
modern day witch,
Yeah.
No.
quote unquote.
No, like I was trying to do like the groundskeeper Willie meme. But also Parrot Head, I'm not sharing that photo you just sent me. I'm not.
He
doing
sent me
one.
that too. The end of Jehovah's Witness.
And that was the last time the Jehovah's Witnesses knocked on my door. Yeah, no.
Is that
No.
a tail? Oh God!
My grandmother, my whole life was this weird woman. She's actually who I got a lot of my fashion sense from. So if I would cut tops a lot, you can take her for that. But
I do thank her for it.
But she, she believed in fairies and in spirits. She practiced pagan Wiccan stuff. She had angels statues in her garden. She loved to garden. Jesus Christ,
Okay.
she loved to garden.
Anyone who was a kid in the 90s, I'm going to say two words that are going to cause some very intense flashbacks. Precious moments.
Oof.
Oh God! Anyone who grew up in the 90s, like you go over to your grandma's house, and it's just full of Precious Moments angel porcelain figures all over.
Like the Hummels.
Yeah, my family's got them too.
Yeah, my grandmother had the Hummels, like the German ones, the little. Yeah.
But it's because of her that I kind of, even though I grew up in a backwater kind of area, real hick town, we're talking. I kind of grew to have this more, judge a man not by the color of his skin, but by the content of his character kind of thing.
Parrot Head, I'm still not sharing Like you sent me another one.
Me.
It's a let's just say it's talking about like waiting for death to come. And yeah, I'm sorry, some of these are a little bit too spicy. I'll share with you after the stream, but
yeah, like she's the one who ignited my love for Halloween and all that kind of darker stuff. I still question her taste in literature, though. She was a Twilight fan.
I endured those damn movies for my girlfriend.
If she could have
the thing, Chris, I'm just gonna say this: the things we do to get laid,
dude. Like, no kidding. Like that was torture. Like there was this one thing. She's like, "So how are you enjoying it?" And I just remember going, "They waited for the thunder to roar to play baseball." Oh God.
Okay, so I want to talk about this because this is a pretty interesting. I think this is a fair question. Because from an outside looking in perspective. So this person says, also, hi, Pickle and Peanut Butter. Thank you for coming onto the stream. Why do people care about it so much? In my opinion, it gives the okay to be weird and wild, and you get to be someone else tonight. I believe I do think that's part of it, but also it's the invitation for spookiness. Like in October, it's okay to like spooky, scary skeletons. Like it's kind of an excuse.
I just want to put up my bat-themed decorations and my vaguely threatening signs and not have people call the cops on me. Okay.
All right. Also, hi Pickle. Thank you for joining us. I do appreciate your comment.
No, but honestly, I think a lot of it is that, goths have really boomed in popularity, and everyone's like, "Oh, spooky season. Goths love it."
Yeah.
That hurt.
Every guy wants a big itty goth GF. I was trying to self-censor.
I've seen the Rule 34 of that Monster Hotel movie there. The one with
Adam. God. We're not talking about Rule 34 tonight. That is not... No, we're not going there. What is the 34th rule of Fight Club? God dang it. Let's see here. What do we got? Pickle says, it's interesting, though, that most people in my area dress more like a character. Yeah, that's kind of how Halloween has kind of morphed over the years. I think it really...
Because they've lost their culture, dude. They don't know what the monsters are.
Well, you know what we should do? We should have a Monster Mash.
A Graveyard Smash. No, but like the reason why they do
Monster Mash.
Like they've always done characters. It's just back in the day, those characters were the Hammer horror films or like the classic monster movies. Like we don't have that culture anymore. Like now it's like I think the most you're gonna get is like the clown from Art the Clown from Terrifier, or like
I think a lot of it is cosplay culture bleeding into the holidays.
Oh, you're right.
I can't say anything against it. I'm literally going as Bunny Suit Bulma from the original Dragon Ball.
I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, like, because it's basically the people who don't cosplay who have always kind of wanted to. It's because like you can get away with a lesser quality costume on Halloween than going to a convention.
Yeah.
Like, oh, look at my Tron suit. It's basically just a hoodie, but I have reflective tape on it.
Yep.
Like okay, you're wearing a hoodie, you got reflective tape, you're wearing sweatpants. Like, that's a costume for Halloween. That works.
Yep. I'm a hobo. No, you normally dress like that.
It's like, oh, I'm a streetwalker. Janet, my uncle literally hired you a half hour ago. That's your work clothes. Sorry.
Yeah.
All right, so what's Pickle's got for us? My wife and I had a Halloween parties every year. Oh, they got a wife. Congrats. Now that we've had our son, no more parties. It's all about the trick-or-treating now. Best of both worlds. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier about passing. Like, you start out, you have fun on Halloween, and then you pass it to your kids, and that's kind of a really important thing.
Yeah.
I'd love
Yeah.
to spend Halloween with my nieces, but I know they'll be out with their mom.
Mm.
Kind of
Yeah,
bums
and
me
there's
out, but I'll
and
be
there's
out.
always that transitionary period where like, let's say you're the older brother, like even in your 20s, where like, all right, I'm gonna take the kid, like I got my nieces and nephews want to go out for trick or treating. I'm gonna be the uncle and take them out, because like, oh, we can have a little bit more fun because it's the uncle. They're safe, but they can have a little bit more fun because their parents aren't here. It's like, shh, don't tell your parents. Like, I
Yeah.
think kids. I just want to say kids need that kind of like stretching of the boundaries.
Yeah.
Like I think it's really important to have like the grandpa, the grandma, the uncle. We're like, oh, here, you can have Coke before bed. Don't tell mother. Don't tell your mom.
Yep. Well, that and like it just when you're around your parents, you act differently than when you're around like older brothers or older sisters or even uncles and aunts. Like
Mm-hmm.
and like I noticed that with my nephew. He's like 20 now. Like he's not even a kid anymore. But
Yeah.
like he was never allowed to be cool in front of mom. You know. And when he's on his own, it's like, wow, like I don't see him as a little kid. I'm like, dude, he's a man. He's his own man now. Like that's pretty bad.
Now you're a man.
Yeah, like, but it's almost stifling, forcing them to stay with their parents. Like let them get out, do some stuff.
I mean, that's literally what happened to me in life. I wasn't kicked out of my house until I was like 23. But if you knew me back then, I kind of had the mental age of a 12-year-old. I was kind of being very emotionally held back, and so I lived with this pastor for 6 years, and it really helped me come into my own.
Oh
And
shit!
that was really important for me. All right, let me read what Pickles got for us. I don't know if this is true, guys in your respective areas, but here Halloween has a resurgence of the past 2 to 3 years. As far as people decorating, etc. I wouldn't say resurgence. I would just say surgence, because like in my area, I'm Michigan, by the way, like Metro Detroit, Michigan. That's my area. What are you laughing about?
No, he just said I was reading Hardcore Buddy's line.
I have definitely noticed that like a few
Sorry.
years ago, a lot of people stopped decorating as much for Halloween. Now it's kind of gotten back to like people are actually decorating again. At least in my area, I don't know how true it is for America, but like
I think people have realized Halloween is an excuse to have fun. Christmas, there's all this obligation, there's all this pressure put on you. With Halloween, it's just have fun. I think it's like you can celebrate Halloween really any way you want. With Christmas, there's like this rigid set path where a lot of people, Christmas doesn't really align with how a lot of people, because a lot of people, they don't have families, they don't have people they can go to. I mean, a lot of people do. But a lot of people don't. Like for example, I don't have anywhere to go on Christmas. So Christmas is just all right, put on a movie, make some food, try not to kill yourself.
that escalated quickly.
Yeah. I as soon as it came out of my mouth, I was like, oh, I should not have said that. But no, I'm good.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, a lot of people, like I remember growing up, hearing stories about my sister's friends, like, oh, what was your Thanksgiving meal? Burger King. And I thought, man, that's really sad. And then now I'm at the age where, yeah, my Thanksgiving dinner is Burger King. It's like I am that person.
Hey, I mean, apparently in Japan, Christmas dinner is Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, when I was out there, that they were like,
Based.
why do you want to go to KFC? It's not
Oh!
Christmas.
I actually, Pickle, I do actually have a ghost story I can say.
Oh.
All right, so I was at a summer camp. Yes, I actually went to summer camp twice,
nice.
actually. Yeah, it was nice. It doesn't exist anymore, but
Oh.
anyway, so this camp, they had like their main site, and they had like this former site that existed in like the 70s or something. So for an activity, we actually went to that old site. We were filming like a mock horror film kind of thing, like a ghost hunters documentary thing.
Mhm.
And so we went into the old like common house or whatever. And we were filming it, and we heard footsteps from upstairs. I instantly ran out the front door, and I stood there. Okay, and there's only 2 entrances. Parrot head. Sorry, but there's only 2 entrances. There's the front entrance, and there's one on the side for the second story. I didn't see anyone come out, and I instantly ran out as soon as it happened.
Wow.
I would have either heard someone or I would have seen someone run away. Okay, so they went upstairs and they looked at it. There was nobody there. Yeah, and they can't. Yeah, thank you, Doctor Who. Vagrant, maybe. I mean, they could have hid somewhere. I mean, there's probably some explanation for it, but that's one that like when it comes to ghost stories, that's always like stuck out for me. Do you guys got any ghost stories?
I've seen weird shit, but I don't know if it was ghost stories or not. And unlike a lot of people, like ghosts would comfort me more than they'd scare me, because it would.
Oh,
mean
you
that
got the
there's
friendly
something-
ghosts.
Well, no, even if it was a nasty ghost, because like if the devil exists, so too does God.
That's
You
an
know?
interesting way to think about it.
Well, it's like if you see like a poltergeist or a noisy, it means that there's something more than oblivion waiting for you. So
I
it's a
have.
gift of certainty.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's
No,
not
go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Nick.
I have. Well, it's not like a traditional ghost story, but after my grandmother died and I was kicked out of my home, the place that I had called my home since I was a baby, because I lived with my grandmother and her second husband, basically since I was an infant. And if you know any of the stories I've told on Twitter, you'll know why. But not to get too deep into it. But after she died and he found a new woman and kicked me out because I didn't get along with her, I moved in with my mother, which was the worst mistake of my fucking life. But
I'm sorry.
But we lived in the city, the second story of an apartment building. And one day when when I was there in my room, I found a dime on the outside of my windowsill. And why this is significant is actually kind of a funny story. There is no way that it could have been me, because I didn't have any physical money, or any money at the time, period. And the second is that we were up high enough that there was no way it could just get there like by someone leaving it there by accident. And my mom ended up talking to a friend of hers about it, and her friend kind of told her, it's a sign that someone who is dead is and who loves you dearly is watching out for you. And so, ever since that day, no matter where I've lived, we'll find dimes in the weirdest places. One of them was my grandfather, who in the winter found a dime in a completely untouched patch of snow. No footprints, no nothing. Just there, sitting on top of the snow. Like it had just always been there or something. And actually, before all that happened, my aunt, when she still had her little Cocker Spaniel dog, she was sitting out in the living room one day, and her dog started going crazy because a knife dropped or something. And when my aunt went to go investigate it, it was a letter opener from my grandmother. And she said that every so often, her dog would just kind of stiffen before barking wildly, like she was seeing something that nobody else could see.
Yeah, because isn't it like in a lot of cultures, dogs kind of have more of a spiritual presence? Like that's why,
Yeah.
in so many pop culture stuff, dogs are the ones to pick up demons. Like especially in like the Terminator franchise, like the dogs can sense a Terminator, and like dogs often are used as like a they can sense bad spirits or that kind of stuff. So like I think
Dogs
that's
and cats are very sensitive in a lot of cultures to ghosts, basically spirits and stuff, or
Yeah.
vampires. You know, do you believe in vampires? I don't. I know that there are certain people I'd call vampires because they constantly drain my fucking patience.
All right. We got another parrot head meme. Yes, be concerned, be very. This one's actually not that bad. All right. I'm Nix. You want to read this one, or should I take it?
I can't see the bottom half of it.
Okay. All right. Let me just.
Chris is covering it.
Yeah.
Chris,
Yeah,
how dare you?
Yeah.
All right.
Damn it, Chris!
Get those pumpkins out of here.
All right. Nope. All right. So it's I want a goth Jeff and I want her now. Hi. Get scared.
He's afraid. He's intimidated.
It's like a dog chasing a car kind of thing.
Be careful. You might just catch it.
Exactly. You caught the goth Jeff. Now she's trying to take you to a Mind Camp concert. Had to be one or the other. Yeah. Oh, Parrot Head. I'm not highlighting that one.
Yeah. L'chaim.
Oh God. But yeah. What were some of your favorite like Halloween movies? Movies or songs? Growing up and now. Like, what are some of your favorites?
I feel like say Halloween, like the horror movie would be kind of a cop out. But a lot of Scooby Doo stuff.
Oh
yeah.
God. Okay, Chris.
Specifically.
Chris, this one is for you. Read it.
Dated a goth girl. Wow. Battlestar Dramatica.
Oh no, do it in your Jewish voice.
Dated a goth girl. Wow. Battlestar Dramatica.
Yes. Okay, go ahead.
Scary Godmother is a good one.
Hmm.
The sequel movie too. Like the animation looks kind of off, but Scary Godmother.
Yeah. I did grow up with Hocus Pocus. That was one of my quintessential Halloween movies. Call me basic. I don't care. Did you know that movie originally came out in July?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's insane. It was one of those movies that was a failure upon release, but the secondary market saved it. And can I just say, it's really a shame that whole thing doesn't exist. Like a movie that bombs the box office and then finds a second life afterwards. Like there's so many of our favorite movies are like that. We just don't have that now. But yeah, those we gotta love a good B flick. One classic that I've kind of grown to love in the past few years is Lost Boys. I talk about it a lot. I just love it. I like it because it has that kind of Peter Pan thing to it of like the forever youth.
Yeah.
Which it's definitely an aspect of vampirism I do kind of appreciate.
It was supposed to be more on the nose Peter Pan kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Master TDS. He did win at life. He did. He's got. He's in a very happy marriage with a goth wife. So he is one.
I'm not gonna lie. Did anyone else see the cinnamon roll brain thing she shared? Holy shit! I want to do that now.
Like cinnamon roll brains.
Yeah, with like strawberry preserves icing.
Yeah.
That looks really fucking good.
Yeah.
You should do
I
it.
was like, damn you, woman, now I'm hungry.
But yeah, Lost Boys it's also one of those movies that has like a really great soundtrack. Like so many good. Oh god, okay. I was at the boardwalk in Santa Cruz. Oh, I am so jealous of you, Pickle. I am so freaking jealous. Oh god.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, because they filmed a lot of it at the boardwalk, like they said in Santa Cruz. Apparently, they screen the movie every year at as part of like Santa Cruz Film Festival or something.
Does the saxophone guy always show up?
I love that. I love that scene. There's actually an edit to where like the guy's doing his thing, and
Yeah, for like 20 minutes.
and the main guy is it cuts it where he's just staring at her, like staring at him. It's
Yeah. He's gonna ruin somebody's Thanksgiving dinner.
Somebody. I guess he wants to bake somebody's turkey.
Yeah. No, supposedly Thanksgiving dinner is like the holiday that like gay people come out to their families for some reason.
What?
Yeah, apparently that there was a poll that said like it was like Thanksgiving was the highest holiday of gay people coming out to their families. 'Cause,
Well,
like,
gay people do love stuffing, so. I'm sorry. I was holding that one. I was waiting for you to finish so I could say that joke.
But I think it's funny though that like if you've ever seen that movie Sex Drive with Sean William Scott as the guy that like continually calling his little brother like a gay. He's like, no little brother of mine's gonna take it in the chili ring, like totally making fun of him like for being gay. Then at the end of the movie, he comes out as gay with his like black boyfriend during a Thanksgiving dinner.
Oh god.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry if I ruined the stream for anyone. All right. This question is for you, Nix. Would you like to read it?
Sure thing. Is The Nightmare Before Christmas more of a Halloween film or Christmas film?
The eternal question.
What's
this?
Well, okay, this is kind of complicated. I'm not even really that big of a Nightmare Before Christmas fan, which is blasphemy to the goth, I know. But I mean, I do like it. It's just that when I got into it, when I first watched it for the very first time, I was like teenager, young adult, so it was way past my demographic. Like, I like the look of it. I like the aesthetics of it. I like the characters. But I don't know. The plot itself just kind of isn't my thing. Ish. But, back to the question. I'd say, considering the majority of it takes place in Halloween Town, you'd think it'd make for a good Halloween movie, but it's closer to Christmas and even features Christmas, like, the day of, like, in the end as part of the big climax, which I would say puts it in as a better Christmas movie. Because Jack's whole goal revolves around not Halloween, but Christmas. And it's only at the end he realizes, no, I should just stick to my own holiday. So I definitely say that it's a Christmas movie that teaches you to be more, thankful for the things you already have.
Huh.
Yeah.
Which is a very, teaches about the importance of your loved ones, which is a very big Christmas lesson.
Yeah. Well, that and, what is it? Don't try to be anybody but yourself.
Yeah, basically kind of thing. So I definitely say that, it's aesthetics for the most part, the mass majority of the most part, are very Halloween because, Jack's a Halloween character in Halloween Town. That given that the plot revolves around Christmas and Jack trying to teach his people about Christmas and have their own Christmas and take over Christmas, it's definitely a Christmas movie.
All right, here's a good question. They ask, is Edward Scissorhands? That's a tough one because, to me, a Halloween movie kind of needs to take place on or around Halloween. But the other thing is it needs to have spooky elements, and it's basically, it has all of the check marks except for taking place on Halloween. Like Edward Scissorhands is almost a Christmas movie because like a lot of it takes place on Christmas.
Winona Ryder with long blonde hair. Wow.
I don't really
Yeah.
like the look. I much prefer her natural dark.
Yeah.
But
Hey, Chris, have you ever seen Mr. Deeds?
I think so. That's the
Winona Ryder with long blonde hair again.
Yeah, that's the one with the guy with the black foot, right? That was Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I actually did a paper on Edward Scissorhands for my film studies class. That was like, because when you do like a film studies class, you have to do like a big, like for your final thing, you have to do a big paper on analysis on a movie. Mine was on Edward Scissorhands, and in mine, I identified Edward Scissorhands isn't the monster; it's the Karens.
Yeah, it's the society the busybodies.
yeah. Yep.
Because Edward is as innocent as a newborn baby.
He literally was basically newborn. His creator then just up and died.
Pinocchio.
So.
Yeah, I recently bought and won this, or I guess I played through the whole game recently, called Europa, and it kind of reminds me of like the Pinocchio / Edward Scissorhands thing, where like the whole game is narrated from the perspective of the Geppetto kind of guy or the creator, and the game takes place 1,000 years after he's died. So you're on the moon of Jupiter that's been terraformed, and you're this like little Edward Scissorhands like robot kid, and you're like basically getting spoken to through like book pages that you find of like the old guy talking, my son, and it's kind of cool. Like definitely worth checking out. If you like Studio Ghibli movies, holy crap, this Europa looks like a Studio Ghibli movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So, as far as Halloween songs, what are some of your favorites? Like, yes, I was one of those kids that watched Thriller every year. I mean, it's essentially a short film. It's 13 minutes long. It's a short film, and I do love that thing. It's very well produced. I mean, he had the best talent in the industry work on that film. He had like Joe Dante direct that. Like, he had a Hollywood film director at the height of his power direct that music video. The guy from Gremlins, and I think he had Rick Baker.
Vincent Price.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Vincent Price, Edward Scissorhands was his last film.
Wow. You know that guy, dude, if Vincent Price was alive today, he would have backed Screecher. No, I'm not being hyperbolic. I'm not trying to show for you. He backed my book too. One thing that a lot of people don't understand or don't know about Vincent Price was he was a strong supporter of the arts, independent arts in particular. The man had a gallery of unknown artists in his house. Yeah, he bought.
Well,
guy was awesome.
All right, let me. Oh god.
Get the Vincent Price with the Screecher on the wall behind him.
All right, you mother duckers. Back Screecher. It's really freaking awesome. Apparently, Vincent Price would buy it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not even joking, man. Like, totally. He would have totally been in the indie comic scene.
If we're talking about like actors and stuff they'd be into, you do realize that if what's his name? The guy who played Tarkin in Star Wars.
Oh, he played Doctor Who as well.
Peter Cushing.
Yeah.
If Peter Cushing was alive, he would be a Warhammer fan.
Oh, hell yeah.
He did miniatures. Like like he was a huge miniature fan. If he was alive today, he would be a Warhammer dude. Okay, just think of this. Peter Cushing and Henry Cavill. talking about Warhammer.
Peter Cushing's would be like, well, naturally I would go with Stalldays.
Yeah, yeah. Just imagine, like, if Peter Cushing was still alive today, you know, he would be in the Warhammer film.
Yeah, Cushing's Crusaders would be his regiment. Like,
Oh God, yeah. Oh
man. Yeah, I heard that thing that I think it was Hardcore Bunny had said about Vincent Price. He's like, yeah, you know, I did the monologue or whatever, and I got a fruit basket out of the deal.
Well,
That's it.
the other thing is too, you know that Eddie Van Halen wasn't paid for the Beat It riff he did, right?
Yeah, the dun, yeah,
Which is, let's be honest, that's the core of that song.
Yep.
That makes that song.
Yeah. Well, did you ever hear the original Thriller? It was called Starlight Night, and it had nothing to do with horror. But it was the same. Yeah, yeah. There's a. I think you can. Back in the Kazaa days. This is before AI.
Oh yeah, that's going back.
Yeah, I had found it was called Starlight Night Michael Jackson, because I know this is probably going to make me lose a lot of cool points. Not that I ever had any, but I freaking love Michael Jackson. I'm a big fan of his.
Oh, dude, I love Michael Jackson. He's cool.
Yeah, first album I ever bought with my own money. I think I was like 5 years old. I went down to a store and I bought was it Dreamboat Annie by Heart and Off the Wall by Michael Jackson. Those are my very two first albums.
I mean, one thing I think you'll find is there's a lot of people who secretly enjoy Michael Jackson. They just don't say it because, especially in the 2000s, like they're like you want to know why? When Michael Jackson died, all of a sudden there was this huge like a stuff sword because people liked Michael Jackson. It just wasn't culturally okay to say. But once he died, and it was culturally it was okay to say you like Michael Jackson. All of a sudden, because this. You got to realize, Michael Jackson obtained a level of fame. Like, people think Taylor Swift is popular.
Yeah.
Taylor Swift has nothing on Michael Jackson at the height of his fame.
Michael Jackson was the first black guy to ever get a music video on MTV, because they actually had a no black guy policy on MTV.
Yeah, I think he was originally on BET, and they had to kind of force it on there. And the Thriller album single-handedly revitalized the MTV genre. Like, it's what got people to go and want to see something on MTV, because that music video or that mini film, that was the must-see thing. Because, again, cable was really kind of new at the time. It wasn't in everybody's households. And we didn't have YouTube. So it was like, oh, did you see Thriller, that Michael Jackson thing? No. Dude, it's on MTV. I'm like, what the hell is MTV? Yeah.
Yeah.
And then nowadays, MTV is trash.
Okay, can I just say, I love how nowadays the MTV doesn't play music meme has existed for longer than MTV actually played music. Just think about that for a moment.
I know. I'm grateful that I was alive during the height of that stuff, because, you know, when I was in university, they had like Total Request Live. It was like the Britney, Christina Aguilera.
Oh yeah, I remember that. My sister actually got into the background on one of the shots.
I designed an album cover for Korn for Issues, and they featured it. It was in the background, and they showed it. I was like, dude, that's mine. And then they cut to the full thing, and I was like, holy shit, that's mine. And my dad's there, you know, typical Asian father. Too bad you didn't win, you know.
Oh God. Pokemon Master? Why no Pokemon PhD?
Emotional damage.
Oh God, I love it. So yeah,
it's like an absolute treasure.
Yes, I will send you to Jesus. Did you ever see that where he had he's like, there's a new challenge mode in video games because all the young Asian kids were beating the games too easily. So there's easy, normal, hard, and Asian.
What the hell?
Yeah, what the hell?
No. And then there's game journalist mode.
Oh God. Yeah. Dean Tucker unlocked.
Did you see the screenshot? Apparently there's a toggle in the new Life is Strange. You can toggle off the gameplay.
What's the point?
It's a movie. They're releasing a movie at that point.
Yeah, Well, that's what a lot of game developers have done, dude. Like since like 2012, I've noticed that where like you either have like the explicitly multiplayer games that have all the gotcha stuff in it or like the season pass crap, or you got the single player games, which is a marginally interactive CG film.
Or you've got the Nintendo games, and they're just
Yeah.
like, killing it every year. But
Yeah,
they're
Nintendo.
so damn expensive.
Yeah, they
Okay,
don't
Parent Head
lose
has
their-
a question.
Did you get a B in math? No son of mine come home from school with a B in math.
Yeah, it's like one of those stereotypes. It's like, wait, you're an Asian and you're bad at math? Oh, you're Irish and you don't drink?
What did say? They say A? Why not A plus?
Oh, you got A plus? Why not A plus plus?
Yeah, you know what? There is no second place. That's the first loser.
Wait, you're second in your class? Why no valedictorian?
Yeah, oh God. Fortunately, my parents they placed all of that stress on my sister. She's older than me. For me, they're just like, yeah, that kid's a loser. Like I had no expectations. I don't even know if they wanted me, but like I had no like I would win awards and they'd be like, like I'd ride my bike to the awards ceremony to get it myself. You know, it's just no.
I'm getting flashbacks right now.
Yeah. Man.
The condom was a failure, just like our son.
Oh! Damn.
I'm sorry. Okay. Chris, read this, please. It's good.
Don't talk to me till you're doctor.
Oh,
Are you doctor yet?
Oh, you're lawyer? Are you head of firm? Are you senior partner? No, don't talk to me till you're senior partner.
Yeah.
Don't talk to me till you're head of firm.
Why your name not on the door?
Oh, you head of firm? Well, Juan's son is head of bigger firm. Why aren't you head of that firm?
Well, my dad was Korean, not Korean and British. It's a weird combo, but like
What?
he didn't have he didn't have the Chinese or the Vietnamese accent. He had more of the no son of mine would be that unintelligent, but you proved me wrong quite a bit.
God.
Like he's like a Disney villain. He's like he's like Benedict Wong. That's how my dad sounds.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Doctor Strange.
I'm sorry. I love how the stream just became let's do Asian jokes for 10 minutes. like borderline racist Asian jokes for 10 minutes.
Oh man,
It's fine. Chris, can you give me the Asian pass?
yeah. I'll give you the Asian, the AZ and pass.
Yay!
I'm lucky because I lived with my grandmother, and I refused to call him my grandfather. He's her second husband, the bastard that shall not be named.
Oh damn!
Actually, it's kind of funny because I told my oldest niece, his name, Steven. And you know what she said to me? Steven. Ugh, that's such a bad name, right, Auntie? I was like, you get it. You're only 5, but you get it already. The whole art of shit-talking anyone you hate.
All right. Chris, I got another one for you.
Hold on, I gotta close the private chat window. It says,
Okay.
why you so hard on my grandchild? He try hard. He get ice cream. Oh man, that was more like my Bobby Lee impression. Holy crap!
Okay, one of these days we need to do a stream about like Asian stereotypes. Oh god. Chris, did you see that boba tea thing?
Yes, dude, that is a bit like okay. I hereby like even though I'm pretty much white passing because I'm a Hafu mongrel whatever. Like I hereby allow anybody to culturally appropriate anything. I think that whole concept is stupid.
Do you revoke Simu's Asian card?
Yeah, well, dude, honestly, like cultural appropriation isn't a thing. It doesn't exist. It never has, and it never will. In order for people to blend together and to appreciate cultures, they will quote unquote appropriate shit. I have no problem seeing some hot blonde in a kimono. You know, I have no problem with a hot Irish woman cooking me some kimchi. You know, like it's not a problem.
And let's be honest, half of the Chinese restaurants in the United States you go beyond the door, it's all Mexicans.
Yep. Yeah.
And you know what? It's still really good Chinese food.
Yeah. Yeah. And I, being a Jew on Christmas, I'm very versed in this. But yeah, it just I hate that whole like this is our culture. Like there was this one dude I was following on TikTok who like flipped his shit because these white chicks made mahjong tiles, and they made a mahjong game with like their own custom tiles or whatever. And he's like, don't, my culture isn't for you to steal and blah 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 blah. And it's like, nobody would give a shit about mahjong, dude. If these chicks like didn't do it, like
also, like, and the thing is, like, food has always been the cultural ambassador. Like, like I'm like food and sex. Like, let's be honest here, okay? You could have the most racist person ever. You get a hot Latina that's interested in him, that like cooks good food for him and gives him some good sex. That she will fuck the racism right out of him. I'm sorry if that was a bit I'm sorry, but that was just too good of a joke not to do. She will cook the racism out of him. She will fuck the racism right out of him.
Well,
that dude will be singing the praises in 5 minutes flat.
Dude, okay, this is how much like I care about appropriating cultures. Oh no, I sound like Khan. He's Laotian, redneck. That's not Chinese or Japanese.
Oh god.
No, I made an Indian Mexican fusion that worked. Like
really?
I cooked chicken tikka masala, okay, with naan.
So it caused you to go both number 1 and 2 at the same time.
Yeah, I was like one of those fireworks that just spun in place. No,
the firework came out of your butt. It's literally your butt shoots flame.
Yeah, and the mouth at the same time, so it's
all the holes. It's coming out of all the holes.
No, so I cooked chicken tikka masala, put it in a very thin naan thing, and then wrapped it inside of a taco shell and put some shredded cheese on it. And I made a chicken tikka taco, and it is so damn good, dude. I appropriated 2 cultures.
How dare you? Yeah, you're a mutt, no rules apply. Like a lot of us. Like for me, I don't know all my heritage, but I'm pretty much Irish, Scottish, but I do have some Cherokee in me.
Oh, nice.
So it's like probably like very thin or whatever. I have a pure-blooded Cherokee somewhere down the line, but
oh wow,
that's a lot of people. A lot of people are mutts nowadays, and that's fine. But the thing is,
no such thing as white culture these days.
Yeah.
Okay, there is a white culture. There is a white culture. Let's
Well, there's American cultures. There's like every European culture has its own culture. Like German culture, French culture, Italian culture.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like in like Canada or America, considering that you most likely have Native or First Nations blood in you, you're not completely white, and therefore, you can't really complain about race mixing.
Wait. Hardcore Bunny can confirm.
Yeah, weren't we just talking about that earlier?
Yeah, I said I was Scottish and Irish, and he's like,
Same.
That is so accurate, Hardcore Bunny.
Oh no, Parenthood's doing the cats in the kettle at the Peking moon.
All right, Chris, all right, I gotta read this. Did you ever think when you eat Chinese, it ain't pork or chicken, but a fat Siamese? Yet the food tastes great, so you don't complain. But that's not chicken in your chicken chow mein.
And the cat's in the kettle at the Peking moon.
Oh no!
Garfield sitting on my spoon.
No!
You never heard that?
When you have a Chinese exchange student and a weekend Fluffy goes missing, and then a few days later the Chinese cooks for you, and you're asking, oh, where did you get all this meat?
Now Chinese secret. Now we've got people thinking that's the Haitians thing.
Yeah.
I was trying not to bring that up. Oh,
Oh, man.
God, the Chinese zodiac is the truth. No.
Well,
Well,
unless they
does
found a
anybody
way
know
to
this?
eat dragons.
Yeah. Does sorry, I'm
Sorry,
gagging.
that was so well timed.
Yeah. Does everybody know their Chinese zodiac?
I'm an ox.
Rabbit. I'm Rabbit.
I'm the snake.
That makes so much sense.
Yes.
Okay. We were thinking about having an Indian taco truck that served tacos with all the Indian dishes inside. I wanted to call it Tacos, and my wife said, "That's racist." Yeah, but it's still funny.
I'd just like to say, as someone who is technically Algonquin, that if you ever want to put Wendigos in something, you have my full permission. You don't need it. But if anyone bitches to you, some white girl from Starbucks decides, oh, that's racist, you can't appropriate that culture, you tell them the Algonquin bitch said I could.
Yes, Nix is handing out passes like candy. You take them.
Yeah.
See, like,
So here's my thing with that whole, like, because it was a big thing a couple of years ago. People were getting in trouble for, like, Wendigo depictions in media and blah blah blah, and people were giving Until Dawn a pass because it was the most accurate. Because in the myths, the legend, whatever you want to call them, the stories, that wispy-looking human-ish creatures that were completely
See
white
you later, Fairhead.
were how they were kind of depicted. They were spirits to warn, stories told to warn people to stay together in snowstorms when they were moving from place to place. But as someone who really likes a good monster design, I much prefer the more deer-like monster Wendigos that
Yeah, I think
have
that's
come from
kind.
cult culture.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the problem. Is the Wendigo design was getting really popular in the mid 2010s, and like all things that got popular, people had to ruin it.
There was a girl, she was Caucasian, but she was living in Korea, South, obviously, but I felt like I should probably clarify just in case people always decide to be smartasses. But she makes monster dolls. Like, she takes Monster High dolls, Ever After dolls, Barbie dolls, that kind of stuff, and she repurposes them with different, like, she'll take the paint off, she'll, like, change their hair, blah, 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 blah. No, Wendigos in Until Dawn were the most lore accurate. So they were technically more, officially Wendigos than the other Wendigos you find
Yes,
in media.
they were officially endorsed by the Cultural Crusaders.
But they aren't as cool. I'm just gonna say they were lame as fuck. At least to me. I hate Until Dawn. No.
Yeah. Well, they did a remake, and it was like, what was the point of the remake? Like, it's not even that
Oh,
old.
the remake ruined it. Like, they ruined it. Like, took out all of the moody lighting. Like, can I just say, I am really sick and tired. Like, it's become a meme at this point. It's like you take a game which has all this like really nice lighting, really creative, and you just suck all the personality out of it.
Yeah, but back to my complaining. The girl made a Wendigo doll, and it looked fucking sick. Like, I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And a couple months after, because she'd been getting so much hate about it, she took the video down and wouldn't show it in her collection anymore when she did videos with the other monster dolls, and completely closed comments in
she got
in
bullied.
the videos she made talking about why she did it. She took it down so nobody could debate her on. And there was a lot of like Native girls, First Nation girls like me, and I'm assuming guys too, because I guess doll collecting is a guy's thing too. But she completely like the people were like, but I loved that doll. That was so cool, seeing a piece of my culture. But of course, the woke moral crusaders had to go and fucking ruin it. And I stopped watching. I completely I even unsubscribed. I was like, no, I don't. Like, I liked the channel, it was a cool channel, but if you're so much of a fucking coward that you can't, like, you won't even listen to the actual voices from these tribes saying, no, we like this. This is really cool. Then I'm sorry, you don't get my respect, you don't get my time, you don't get my support.
Yeah, that always like. Can I just say I'm really sick and tired of a lot of people trying to speak for other people. Like
Yeah.
we've had this situation happen so often. We're like, oh god, I'm going to go here. Where you have a rich white liberal or whatever say something, and the native's like, oh no, nothing. Like, we're speaking for you. It's fine. You're press. We get it.
No, people probably wouldn't even assume that I have any kind of, like, native blood in me because I am so white. That's the Scottish and Irish in me. You can thank that
And,
for.
and Chris here, he's a bit Jewish.
Yeah, yeah. I look like a fat, uglier, old version of Keanu Reeves.
But you can't be Jewish. You don't have the nose.
Oh, I know. That's because the Korean offset it. Like, I got the daywalker nose because Koreans have a flat face. Like, they break their toe before they or stub their toe before they broke their nose if they walked into a wall. Whereas,
Oh,
you know, the Jews have the toucan Sams. So, like, the genes just kind of pulled it into a normal one. It's one of my buddies that I stream with on another channel. He's Jewish, and a lot of times he'll turn his profile and he just points to the nose. You know?
And like, you see this schnoz? You see
Yeah.
it? That's my badge of office.
Yeah. The nose.
I really hope this stream doesn't get me canceled, but you know, fuck it.
Man. Oh, man.
We'd all be going down too, especially Chris. A lot of people really don't like the Jews these days.
Oh my
Sorry.
dude. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Okay, we're
Like,
not going there. We're not going there. We're not going there. We're not going there.
I do remember the whole Assassin's Creed thing. Like, they really. I was like, you guys really went after the Jew side when you were like doxing me. Damn, dude.
Oh god.
I was like, some of them were like, well, thanks. I'm going to use that one.
See, my thing is like a reason why I often love to keep my hair long is it like whenever people are coming after me, like, you need to cut your hair. It's like, I styled it that way, you know. Like, it's kind of like a first, because it's the first thing people see, you know. I used to have like the my chem hair, you know, like the emo hair, and it's fine, whatever. But I always loved, like, you need to cut your hair, as if that was like an insult. Like, I didn't purposely grow it out that way. Like, I don't know what you're saying. Okay, like,
Yeah. They always nitpick, but for some reason, I don't know what it is. But for some reason, like, when there's like if I say something on social media that people don't like, you know, if I have a spicy take or something, it's just like, it's like, instead of what is it, Phoenix Wright saying objection, it's just Jew, like just where.
well, it's people go for the obvious thing. Like, I swear, like, if someone comes at me with like an original insult, I'll at least respect. Like, okay, that was actually a good one. I respect that. But but like with people, it's always like the same 3 insults. Like, people who are online, you tend to see the same 3 insults repeated over and over again. You know, like for me, my hair or stuff like that. I'm sure you guys.
Oh, for me, it was my weight.
Oh God.
Yeah. Oh, you weren't there for that, Chris. Oh my God.
Oh crap! I remember that. That was brutal.
Yeah. I posted an unfiltered picture of my face. I had my cheeks puffed out, and I was like crouching down.
Mm-hmm.
And people like all guys. It was all guys, because of course it was. Girls can't do anything on the internet without a bunch of guys coming in and freaking out over my weight, calling me fat, calling me a whale, blah 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 blah. And the thing is, like, I'm like, I don't even like.
Which is really weird.
Think I don't look that bad?
Well,
yeah,
okay.
Like, thank you.
First off, Nix, I'm gonna say that I really admire your confidence. Like, you're a beautiful woman, okay? You post a lot of pics of yourself, and there's some really nice pics. Like, you got style, girl. Okay, I'm just saying that right now. You are a very beautiful woman, and you know what? A lot of people agree with me. Like, whenever sorry, I pickled this, so I'll respond in a second. But like Nick, whenever you post a picture, you get a lot of people that do like your photos. Okay, you are loved. Okay, there are people who appreciate you for your like. Obviously, I appreciate you for your personality, and yes, you're a very good-looking woman. But you're the full package. Okay, I like having you as a friend.
Like, dude, I even have if he sees this, I'm not being derogatory. I even have a gay dude complimenting my photos. I have 2 gay dudes. All right.
Wow.
Okay, if you have a gay dude
Ooh.
complimenting like that is okay. A gay dude complimenting your style is like worth double points. So.
Right? Like, he even said to me, like, oh, you have all these really great outfits. I'm kind of jealous.
Oh, you made a gay dude jealous. Okay, that's a whammy right there. Okay.
Like, he told me I give him inspiration for his, like, next few outfits. I was like, yes.
And then to answer your question, Pickle, I was going for like a short on the side kind of thing, like kind of your basic like white male haircut kind of thing. I just
Generic white guy.
You know, Nix, I do want you to open an OnlyFans so you can showcase all of your lovely cooling devices.
Yeah. So
an OnlyFans. It's all fans.
Yeah.
So get like 2 photos, one of a standing fan, one of a desk fan.
Yeah.
Okay, Nix, I gotta ask you a question. If you were to open an OnlyFans, and this is more of a joke question, by the way, I'm just letting you know. If you were to open an OnlyFans, what would it be?
Well, I was going to open an OnlyFans and have it be about cat pictures. Like, no, I was gonna, like, there was gonna be this whole big thing on, like, April Fool's, where I was gonna make, like, a pussy pun.
Oh, God, like, you want to see Nix's pussy.
And it was gonna be a bunch of my cat photos, because at the time I had, like, 12 cats running around.
I mean, technically...
All of them are gone now, because there's fishers in the area. But
technically speaking, you wouldn't have lied to them. You would have shown them Nick's pussy.
See? Cat photos. But yeah, I had a whole bunch of really cute cats running around doing cute little cat things. But I forget what it was, but I think it was something to do with the fact that they needed my ID, and for some reason the pictures I was taking wouldn't they weren't right to it or something. So I was like, you know what, this
is that the one where you gotta hold it? Oh God, I hate those.
Yeah, because they like, oh, I can't see it right. Oh, that's a good picture. Oh, no, it's wrong. Blah, blah. It's like...
those ones really... If you have a shitty webcam, they really punish you for that.
Well, it was on my phone, so my phone's camera is actually pretty good. But yeah, finally I had enough. I was like, you know what? This one stupid joke for this one stupid day is not worth all of the mental torment I am putting myself through. Fuck this noise.
And just imagine, and I could just see it's like, all right, so for $100, you want to see my butthole, and then it's just a cat's butthole from the
oh man, gonna traumatize the poor kitty. It's like, owner's taking pictures of my rusted penny.
Rusted penny. I've never heard that one before.
But yeah, now all I have are 2 cats. We've got Pumpkin Barbara. Barbara is his middle name because my youngest niece, a 3-year-old, decided he looked like a Barbara. And Salem Bob, because again, my youngest niece, 3 years old, decided no, he looks more like a Bob.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, well, whatever. But yeah, no, Salem and Barbara, or Salem and Pumpkins, Bob and Barbara.
So this is I'm sorry, like this stream is on fire right now, but in a good way. But Jared's starting his stream at 9, and I want to get some food in me before I go onto his stream. So we're gonna start wrapping things up.
Yeah.
I am sorry, but like yeah, this stream's going good. We got a lot of people in their chats going. I hate to do this, but I told Jared I would be on CLD for him tonight. Jared, if you hear this,
hop into the chat.
Yeah, by all means, So yeah, if you want more of me, I will be on Jared's chat at 9. I'm also actually going to be on Caster's stream. I wasn't able to do it last week because I had the con, but I'm going to be guesting on the Caster game stream, so check me out there. And also make sure to check us on Jared's CLD. That's going to be always a fun time with Jared and the crew. But Chris, anything you want to shill? Any links you want to dump on the private chat that I can? Oh God! You were right. You were. Okay, let me put this in. All right, Chris. Shill.
All right, yeah. We're hoping to get enough interest for the second book in the Infinite Tale Chronicles series. Book one was crowdfunded and is now on Amazon. It was crowdfunded back in 2021, and we're now trying to get book two out, and we just want to see if there's any interest. If we can get to 100 backers, that definitely tells me there's interest, and I can start with the launching the campaign. There's three books or three versions of the book. The first book, or the standard edition, is done by the original art team that did book one. There's an alternate art edition, which is done by a completely different art team, but it's the same story. And then there's a black and white manga edition, which composes both books one and two, but it's in the manga format, i.e. read right to left, and all of the onomatopoeia is in Japanese.
That is cool.
Sweet, man. Yeah, if you sign up for the mailing list, you get access to some of the cool exclusive perks. So, for example, there's that hollow foil card of a scene from book two that you'll get just free, or you'll get a link when the campaign launches that will have that tacked onto your perk if you choose to back it.
Yes, please sign up. I have signed up myself. Basically you're waiting till you get to 100 signups before you go live.
Exactly. Yep. We just want to see if there's interest in this because I don't want to sell a product that isn't going to get backed.
Yep, that is perfectly reasonable, my friend. If you made it this far, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing. Pickle, we go live every Friday at 6. On Nix, I'll get to you in a second. Tune in next week for the Friday night feature. At the end of every month, we do a movie, and this month's movie is Scooby-Doo from 2003. Melee K will be a guest on that stream again, so we'll be discussing that movie. But yeah, Pickle, if you like what you see, feel free to subscribe. I go live multiple times a week. And Nix, what do you got going on? Where can people find you?
You can find me at BunnyGirlNix on Twitter or X if you prefer. I certainly don't. And I also now have a Blue Sky under Nixama. It's more of a backup because just in case those block changes go through. Because I was informed that if they do go through, there's a very good chance the app could get blocked in Canada. Not blocked, banned in Canada. Because it would go against our really stupid fucking hate speech rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. Personally, I don't think it's going to go through because.
No, but there's no chance that it does.
Because Elon Musk is many things. Like, people think he's an idiot. He kind of is, but he's not a total idiot.
People think he's an idiot. He kind of is.
I mean, he didn't become the richest person on Earth by being an idiot.
That's true. Personally, I think him breaking up with his wife, Grimes, kind of maybe messed him up a little. Just saying, maybe.
I mean, Grimes is not the. I don't know. I don't know the woman. I can't comment, but I mean, breaking up with a woman always does weird things to a guy. But Anyway, so yeah, we're doing Scooby-Doo 2003. It's gonna be wild. I can't wait to hear Nix's thoughts on it. It's gonna be great. But yeah, I'll be on CLD. Feel free to come there and bug me. If you do come to that, please make sure to spam Wonderbat in the chat. Let's know Jared. But yeah, Pickle, thank you for joining us. I really appreciated you being here. You had some really great comments, and I hope to see you again. The next thing I got going on is tomorrow I'll be streaming some BioShock. That'll probably be the last one, I'm hoping. But hey, and this has been Nick from the Phoenix Press. And remember, I can only show you the door.